Hello, everyone, and welcome to our series on financial aid, specifically merit aid this time. Hello at home. If you're watching on YouTube, we wish you could be here, but we understand sometimes you can't. So we are going to be continuing on with our four-part series in financial aid. I say this every week, and you know what? I also say this consistently one-on-one. Financing college is part of the search strategy. It should be part of making a college list. It is based on a family's unique financial situation and based on a learner's unique academic background. These two things. And we are really going to see that academic background come to life here. And we're going to see that financial situation come to life in our next session. The best financial aid comes from the college. Those of you who know me know this is a broken record of mine. This is where the money comes from. Doesn't come magically from the sky. It comes from the college itself. So I'm going to get off my soapbox for a moment and continue on. This is the Merit Scholarship Discounting one. We have done an introduction with basic FAFSA. We have done loans and debt, and we will be doing need-based aid. I still have to upload the loans and debt, I think, to the internet, but introduction is there, and I'll be getting all this online if you want to watch again. It requires a strategy, and that is why we have this four-part series. We're helping you with that strategy today and in the future as well. So take it away, Heather.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So now we're going to talk about merit aid, and merit aid is free money. It's money you do not have to pay back. It could become in the form of a scholarship. It could be a discount. It could be grant money. I mean, really anything you don't have to pay back. Merit aid is typically something that you earn based on an achievement of some sort. So here we have some competitive scholarships. If you are interested in any type of a competitive scholarship, you would see that on the college website itself. It could be based on a specific academic interest, a talent you have. Maybe they have a community service scholarship you can apply for. A lot of them require additional applications. You'll see this specifically when you're going into your performing arts or visual arts. Even applying to the colleges themselves, let alone the scholarships, you have to fill out those extra pieces of the application. Often also you have a separate piece of application to apply to an honors college at a certain school. Some of them will invite you to apply to the honors college based on your original application, and some it's in the same application, you just click that you want to be considered for the honors college and you fill out that application at the same time. Again, it could be supplements, more essays. I know we love those. Or again, if you're going into the arts, some sort of an art portfolio. Here are some ideas of some academic scholarships. So you can see the University of Alabama does offer a very top scholarship. It would be tuition for I can't even talk, 4 full years. 1 year of on-campus housing and whatever the regular room rate is for that specific year. They also have an undergrad supplemental scholarship, $19,000. So you can see there's a lot of money there. University of Alabama, I'm sure you've all heard of if you follow any type of athletics, right? They're very well known for their athletics, but they do try to attract very high academic achieving learners because they do have that athletic kind of known for. So they also want to be known for high academics as well. University of New Mexico offers a Regents scholarship. You just have to apply by the deadline. If you're not a resident, you could receive a waiver for that. So you can see that one has a minimum GPA of a 3.9. So here's some artistic scholarships. So the Whittier College has one specific for theater talent, which is amazing. Beloit has some for theater and dance and whatnot. And the great thing about these is they stack. So what does that mean? So if you're admitted into Whittier College and you qualify for this theater talent scholarship, and you also qualify for one of their, merit scholarships, academic scholarships, you can use them both. So there are some schools that you one or the other. These particular ones stack, which is amazing. So it just keeps getting that, money that you owe at the end of the day down. We're just whittling it down with these scholarships. So it's perfect. Some colleges also offer identity scholarships. So you can see the St. Lawrence University offers a presidential diversity scholarship. And it's based on your race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, so on and so forth. USC also offers an identity scholarship for those who identify in the LGBT community. So always be looking at these colleges and the different scholarships that they offer. You'd be surprised if you go on USC's website and really look at scholarship. There is a ton for all sorts of different things that you might be interested in or qualify for. Then we also have some that are more in line with leadership. So Whittier College, again, here we is offering 5,000 to future poets. But the great news is a lot of times you don't have to be a poet major. So, it's just, again, looking into these leadership at the School of Education at Syracuse. So if you have any questions, you can always ask one of us. If you're looking for something specific at a specific school, we can help you decipher whether you qualify or not. Um, so
I'm gonna sneak in a comment. I
please
think
do.
for poets, I don't think it's for people that are going to be poets. I think it's
Right.
for Whittier poets.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the mascot is a poet, which is kind of cool.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was thinking, all right, maybe you like poetry, but I guess that makes sense. I don't know everybody's mascot. Sorry. Okay. Next one. Perfect. And then there's always these random ones. So these are kind of fun. So if you are a Girl Scout and you've done your gold award, Hofstra's got an opportunity for you to get some extra money with them. Same with New Mexico Press Women. So it's a journalism scholarship. You don't have to be a female to qualify for this scholarship. And then Case Western, who knew, right, that they would have a robotics competition scholarship. So again, very random scholarships you'll find on some of these college websites. And I'm going to head it back over to Laura.
Switching over to me, I'll just say with the last group of scholarships, every time we do this presentation, we dig through and have to find the new ones. They switch from year to year. So we might put something up on the screen that we found for a specific year, and then the year that you apply, you might find completely different options. So keep looking to see what they have. And you never know what'll be there from year to year. So I'm going to switch gears. We talked about competitive scholarships, the scholarships that you have to actually go into the website and apply for, but I'm going to switch that over to automatic scholarships. And these are very, very common. They have pre-designated criteria. It's typically GPA. Sometimes it's test scores, and once in a while it's GPA plus test scores. Now, with this movement towards test optional, we are finding many have a GPA only option now. Once upon a time in the dark ages, pre-COVID, it almost always was a combination of GPA and test scores. So there's been some real changes throughout colleges in the United States in terms of how they award their scholarships. So these are 3 examples. These are current. We went and I think Heather, you switched these out this year. Every year we go and look because the numbers, the everything kind of changes. So we've got 3. We put up Point Loma because that's a pretty popular one with our students. Southwestern, one of the colleges that changes lives, and the University of Mississippi, because that's a really good example. You can see that it basically, if you have one of these things or a combination of these things, this is what you're going to get off the bat. And we call them merit scholarships. This is really another word for discounting. they're going to discount the rate. Everybody seems to be able to get something. And it's a good way to attract students. So I'll give you a second just to look at the different scholarship levels. You notice over here with Southwestern, it is between 30 to 36, 29 to 35. They still have a little bit of discretion depending on how much they want to attract you. Whereas Point Loma, it's pretty cut and dry. You know what you're getting depending on what you have. One thing I want to point out here, though, is when you look at your GPA that we have given you, we get to you your scholarship, and you have a weighted and an unweighted GPA. The GPA here on the screen may not be the same GPA. You may be looking at a recalculated GPA. So these schools can choose what to put into a GPA. They may choose only your core classes. They may choose to include core plus art. They may choose to include PE. We don't know. And so when you look at your GPA and you look at the GPAs on these, understand they may be slightly different. Okay, here's an example. I like this one, Westmont. Westmont has been very kind to our students, especially students with needs. So this is an interesting merit option. And Westmont gives you the option to be test optional or to include your test score for merit. And so if you are someone that just has a really good GPA and you're not a good tester, you have an equal opportunity to somebody who is a good tester, who may not have the same level of GPA. Notice this 4.35, that's a weighted GPA, versus a 3.95 with the high test score. And so you really do get choices with Westmont and many other colleges. Off to Heather we go.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to go into tuition exchanges and discounts. So these are going to be public colleges that offer lower costs for residents of California. Some of them offer in-state tuition, some public will offer tuition match. And I think actually Laura will be talking about tuition match in a little while. So the public colleges, what are they? So our in-state schools are the University of California system, the Cal State University system, and then our California community colleges. So these are our public schools in California. We pay taxes that subsidize these schools. So out-of-state schools would be like University of Washington, Arizona State, University of New Mexico. So colleges that are in other states where those residents pay the taxes. So typically out-of-state residents pay more. So here's one that we love here in California. It's called the Western Undergraduate Exchange. This is North Dakota all the way to Hawaii. They offer an exchange program with residents of these states that are all highlighted. We're in red. All the rest of them are in yellow. They offer a 1.5 times of in-state tuition. And we're going to give some examples here in a little bit of what that can look like for you. Okay, perfect. So Evergreen is a state school in the state of Washington. If you were to attend there as a non-resident of the state of Washington, the tuition would be just over $29,000. But because they have this exchange program with all those states that were highlighted, including California, the tuition goes to $11,700. So you can see it's a huge, huge savings if you want to go to some of these schools. And I might add, some of them come out to be way less expensive than if you were to stay home and go to a public school here in California, provided you're living on campus somewhere. Because a lot of them, even the cost of living on the campuses is not based on your residence. So that number isn't going to change. So a lot of them, the fee to live there is less expensive than living here in California on campus. So you can see these have a great, sorry. All right, we're moving on. So here's one special out of state.
Let me try to go backward here because
That's okay.
go
I
backward.
can just talk about Fort Hayes.
Let me try it again. Hang
Not
on.
going backward.
There we go.
Okay.
You got it.
So, some of you may not have ever heard of Evergreen, but a lot of people have probably, again, if you're big sports fans, have heard of Boise State or Washington State. These are the teams that are always on TV when you're watching football or basketball. So, again, you can see the non-resident tuition if you were to attend any of these schools. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Montana, but it's beautiful there. Not that I would necessarily want to go to school, maybe, but so just some other options. If you're looking for a tech school, look at Oregon Tech right there, right? The WUI tuition is $15,000. It's a great savings if you're wanting to go out of state, really. Okay, I'm ready now. All right, so there are some schools that offer tuition waivers or matches, and we have a beautiful example on this next one. So Fort Hays State University, I believe it is in Kansas. They are trying desperately to attract residents from the state of California or the state of Florida. So they are offering a significant discount on their tuition, as you can see here. So the criteria is to be a first-time, full-time on-campus freshman. So you have to live on campus. You're coming in with a 2.5 GPA, so not too difficult for most of our learners to achieve that. But as you can see, with the scholarship, your total cost $15,000, and that's including room and board, tuition, books, fees, all of it. So it's an amazing savings. If anybody's interested in Fort Hays State. And the reason I know about this is last year, one of my learners applied to this school. Personally, I'd never heard of it, but at 7 a.m. one day, my phone was ringing. And I was like, who is calling me this early? But I answered, which I normally wouldn't because I knew it was a work call. And it was an admissions officer from this school explaining this beautiful program to me. So I'm excited that I'm able to share it all with you. And now we're going back to Laura.
And I'm going to try not to keep clicking and making things go all over the place. I just want to say with the Western Undergraduate Exchange, or WUI, Evergreen's up there because that's where my son just graduated from. We were there. He was there on a WUI rate, and it made all the difference in the world for us. So don't discount some of these possibilities. What was nice about it was not only was the tuition discounted, but because the cost of living was lower in the particular city where the college was, housing was less. So by going out of state, we saved a significant amount of money compared to staying in state. So I highly recommend WUI schools. But onward we go to private colleges. So I get so many people that come to me and say, well, I have to stay in state and go to a public college because that's the only way that we'll be able to afford school at all. And so I want to kind of go against that and say, you may be really surprised because the average discount, and I'm using the word discount because, yeah, they call it merit aid because it's warm and fuzzy when you do it that way. But the reality is they're discounting to get you into the school. It's the sticker price versus the real price if you've ever gone car shopping. But the average discount for a private college is 56%. So a lot of times what you see isn't real for private colleges and even for some public colleges. Not all, but there are some out there as well. The average tuition discount for all of them together, public and private, 51%, but the average private college tuition discount's 56%. And I can tell you that I can get a private college, a group of choices of private colleges that will come in lower than our state schools. I've done it every year. People don't believe me, but I've done it every year. We can get it down cheaper, including room and board. So you need to find the ones that are most likely to offer a discount to you. Look at your GPA and or test scores. And if they're in the top 50 to 75% of admitted students, or even above that, you're more likely to get merit aid. And that tuition is more likely to be discounted. We're going to learn about a few colleges that don't offer any when we do the next presentation. We'll be talking about colleges that only offer need-based aid, not scholarships, but the majority of colleges in the United States run based on scholarships, merit aid, or discounting. Okay. We've got a couple of private colleges that will match a public flagship price. Flagship is the main college in any state. In our state, it is considered Berkeley, and so they're looking at the Berkeley amount. So for example, Cal Lutheran will guarantee to match the in-state flagship amount. Oglethorpe, I've never heard of it until I started looking specifically for flagship prices, and I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Bellarmine. I don't know. Someone will correct me in the chat box. And you could just Google, because every year it changes. So I never know from year to year, which makes this presentation really difficult because I have to go searching. So I'm going to encourage you to go searching, especially on the year that you are a junior and senior. Okay. Some colleges are more generous than others. This is one of my favorite things to show people. So here are five of the most generous colleges in the United States. And I didn't realize it till I looked at it just now. For those of you who are aware of my obsession with the colleges that changed lives, these five colleges are all from that group. They're small liberal arts colleges that are very student-centered. They're throughout the United States. And I just want to go through and kind of show you this particular slide focuses on families that have no need whatsoever. So we're talking high income families that wouldn't qualify for any kind of need-based aid at all. I get people in here all the time that say, well, we're not going to qualify for anything. We make too much money. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. And so you can see that what we have is a sticker price that includes room and board. And then we have the percentage of students who last year, because this changes every year, who last year received non-need based aid, no need whatsoever, higher income families. And you can see that at Agnes Scott, which is a great women's college in Georgia, 99%, Allegheny, Pennsylvania, 100%. We have students that were accepted to both last year. Beloit, we have a student that's actually there right now, 91%, 97, 97. Like it's a discount. If they're giving that much money to that many people who don't have any need whatsoever, it's a discount, but they call it merit aid because it's warm and fuzzy. So the average non-need based merit, the average, there will be higher, there will be lower. 32,000 for Agnes Scott, 40,000 for Beloit, 31 for Allegheny, 100% get an average. Please understand, some will get more, some will get less. But if you look at the actual estimated cost, including room and board, you can see that we have pretty much either equaled or beaten the University of California with a private college. So I'm telling you, I can get prices down. You just have to know where to look. And I'm also going to show you where to look. Okay. Every year, a pair of educational consultants create the most amazing chart. And I'm going to show you that chart, and we can go ahead and I'll put the chart at the end. I'll put the link to the chart in the chat box. So Jeannie and Jeff are the counselors. I like to give them credit. This is not me being magical. This is me getting help from professionals. Okay, so let's take a look. Give it a second to come in. There it is. So they've got this great chart. They've got about 400 or 500 colleges on this chart. And you can see from this chart, we got 476. You can get an idea of which colleges are generous. Sometimes we have confusion, and that is from the college, and whoever was in their research department did not add things together correctly. But you can see alphabetical order. You can see, where is Allegheny? I think that was one. Yeah, Allegheny. For example, you can see where I got that information. 100% of students are getting something, and this is the average amount they get. You can also see, you can use this chart if you are a family that has need-based aid. You can also use that for this. But as we go through, you can just get an idea of, there's another one. Oh my goodness, that's Biola, 96%, get an average of 18,000, not quite as generous as Beloit, who gives an average of 40,000. So this is a good chart. I'm going to go through a little more. You can also search for a specific college. Let's see if I can move that up so you can drop that down. and put in a specific college if you want to look it up, and you can see there's a lot of colleges on this list. I'm going to go ahead real quick, and I'm just going to put this chart into the chat box so that you have access to it. Let me go ahead and put it here. So don't do it now because, of course, we're enjoying this presentation. But if you get a chance a little bit later, go ahead and take a look. I will warn you that any of the public colleges in state, that applies to you. Out of state, it may not apply to you. So you do want to look at in-state. Look at Cal Poly Pomona, 1%. So, you know, private colleges sometimes could be a little more generous. Okay, moving back into the presentation. And we're gonna lead it on back to Heather. Carry on.
Okay, so we do know of a few outside scholarships. Very few will offer a full ride or for tuition. Most do require an application. There are some that might be related to things that you're interested in. Avoid most of the college scholarship college scholarship search websites. That's very difficult to say. Use Google, and even Google could come up with some random things. If it looks sketchy, it's sketchy. Don't do it. I think you'll find with a lot of them, it's like, oh, you could qualify for XYZ scholarship. Give us your, name and email and phone number, and then you're just getting spammed from then on out, and there was really nothing to be had. I also like to caution some of my learners, they see this, Coca-Cola is giving out this scholarship. Yes, you and about 100,000 people are applying for that one scholarship. So I always say, look local. Is your, local community bank, do they offer something? Does your parents' employer offer something? Does your employer offer something? So always be looking around in your local community for some other ones that might be a little bit more easy to earn. Here's some examples. Again, we're looking at Edison. It's going to be very big. There's going to be a lot of people applying for that. But then there's some cute ones, Petable. Who doesn't love furry friends, right? So there are some out there for everyone. There's a disability scholarship for people, bipolar and whatnot. So be looking on the lookout for this. And I think Laura's going to go into depth a little bit more regarding one of the search tools that we do approve of later in the presentation. Oh, and here it is. Laura, you're up.
Not much later in the presentation. We do have one search engine that I do like. And, all these search engines they're happy to get your information. I find that this one is a little bit safer. And, we debated, do we want to keep this up? Do people really use it? And as I was preparing for the presentation this morning, I got an email saying, here are your December scholarships from Going Merry. And there was one from the University of California. Like, I think it was UCLA. There was another one that was a jazz scholarship. So, you have to watch for the things that matter to you. But this one, I do like this one. If you are Mrs. Clements' student, or you just want to contact me, I also have a link that I can give you that puts you into our system. We have to get Jenna Clements' link set up. Let me show you a little bit more about this program. So Going Merry is a tool that allows you to sort of create search capabilities and then gives you a whole slew of scholarship options. It is free for you to use. We put you in, we can kind of help you, and it's got some good stuff. And so one of the things I like about it is we also can put in our scholarships that we find out. Every now and then I'll get an email saying, hey, did you know about this scholarship? And I'll look and Going Merry and they don't have it, and I'll contact them and they'll add it. So this is kind of also not just Going Merry itself, but other people that work with Going Merry just put in scholarships as well. So I found it somewhat legitimate. Depending upon the type of scholarship, if you get one that is a no essay, easy to apply scholarship, yeah, it's got every single person in the universe applying. Those are probably not the scholarships for you. But as you start working on, trying to find the ones that match you, that's different. So here's a few that actually might Makes sense. Local scholarships, Long Beach Community Foundation. I was doing the search for this presentation, I think about 2 years ago, and it knows I'm in Long Beach. And so it gave me a Long Beach scholarship. Edison, once again, that's local. That's Southern California. Edison is the company that would be in my area, and it found that one as well. NHS, the NHS scholarship. We have an NHS here. And so you can see that that is a scholarship that could actually work. And then just some random scholarships. Now, the identity-based scholarships is going to go through a list of questions, everything from race, religion, to disability, to match you with other scholarships. It was interesting when I mentioned disability, I was chatting with a student who had migraines, lots of migraines. And I don't know how it happened, but we opened up Going Merry, and right in front of us was a migraine scholarship. Go figure. So you never know what's up here, what matches with you. Sometimes you get a bundle of scholarships. So for example, if this is overcoming a challenge. So if you've had a situation where you overcome a challenge, they found 4 scholarships. They have a way to kind of apply to all of them at once. What was really interesting was this application question. This is a really nice thing. This is actually a common application, common app question. So if you are applying to college, you might notice it's the same question you might have already answered, which is very nice. And you can see that we have different scholarships. It says 2022 because I haven't updated the slide, but they update regularly. Going Merry keeps track of it. Okay, onward to Heather again.
Okay, we got a lot of back and forth today. So here's some resources of some books specifically that Laura and I have both read that we find, helpful in the college admissions cycle, including financial aid. So take a look at them if you're interested in reading any of these. And then Facebook group Paying for College 101. This is the financial aid Facebook page. It's mostly for parents for help and for drama because people love to air their drama on Facebook. So enjoy, even if you just join for the chuckle of the drama.
I just have to comment on the drama because it is my entertainment. Let me tell you, the fights that people get into on Facebook is like multiplied, but it actually has good information. Otherwise, we wouldn't put it up here. So the drama is just a warning that you're entering a drama zone, but the information almost makes it worth it. Kind of.
Kind of. All right, so our next info series, we will be finishing out our financial aid series on December the 6th with need-based aid. And then coming back after winter break, we will jump into holistic admissions. That one's a fun one for us, so I hope you don't miss it. And thank you for coming today.
And I'll just tell folks at home, it was great seeing you. I'm going to turn off the recording for our Q&A. Come join us live. Q&As are fun. And on that note, see you at home.